Well, guess right now where the current financial capital of the world is? New York. Where was it previously? London. What's Mendami trying to do to millionaires and billionaires in New York? What is he trying to say? I'm gonna tax your asses. If you make more than $2 million, here's another 1%, 2%. If you're a billionaire, 3%. And guess what? Remember I shared with you they got options? Guess where they might potentially be picking up and moving to? Think about the assets that's relocating. You look at New York, you look at Los Angeles, over $1 trillion and now moved out of New York, out of LA. But how come people aren't doing that in Chicago? You know why? Because the capital's moving where? Here, it's coming down here. Money is coming to this city. Any Navy veterans here too as well? A couple of Navy. What ships were you on? Any? USS Atlanta. Nice. Navy veteran. I love it. I love it. So when I was on the USS Tripoli, the Okinawa, the Bellawood, the flight deck, they had these safety nets around the side of the aircraft carrier, right? There's no safety nets here, man. So I don't feel good being on stage. But tonight, I'm glad we are here because I'm going to be a little bit more interactive with you tonight. So to our distinguished guests in our front row, our VIP, our elite, my realtor is here, Jackie Dorbis. I'm so excited. And guys, if you want to buy a house in a very nice neighborhood, she's the one to talk to. But many of you here, I also want to honor those who flew in out of town. So who here flew in from a different city and state? Stand up. Make some noise for these guys. They made an effort to fly in out of town. Can we run the mic? Can we run the mic? So start over here, start with Raphael. Give him the mic. Mention your name, your company name, what city and state you're flying in from.
So our name's R3R, Rafael Rodriguez III, and I don't necessarily have a company. It's kind of just, I would say a coach, per se. And I flew in from San Diego, California.
There's another Marine, too. Marines are sitting next to each other.
You know it. We got to stay close. Dave Perret, company's called From Military to Millionaire. We help service members and vets maximize benefits, VA loans, and we flew in from Springfield, Missouri.
Love it.
Dan Logan, I'm Dave's right hand, and we also run the War Room, which is a private investor group. So also here from Springfield, Missouri.
Love it. Good job, Dan. Awesome. Yes, sir.
Steve Rich, I'm here from Chicago. I'm with the 5280 Retirement Group, and glad to be here. Thank you.
Good last name, by the way, Rich.
Yeah, my name is Leon Caldwell, and I'm with the PHP agency, and I flew in from Corona, California, even though I'm going to see him again next week.
All right, we have to keep hooked out right there. I'm glad you're here, brother. We got one. Who else? Anywhere in the back? Over here? RB Doc, oh man, we got one more flying in from different city and state. Appreciate y'all.
Good evening. Name is JP Dillon. I flew in from God's country, better known as New Orleans, Louisiana. And I represent Metabo HPT.
Nice, very good. I'm glad you're here, man. So before I jump in it, you know, usually we come to a lot of these type of events. My question to you, we're gonna run the mic again. What's your outcome? What's your outcome for tonight? Why'd you show up? Who's got an answer? What do you want out of this thing? Right over here. What's your outcome? What do you want out of this?
Connections for growth.
Connections for growth. Awesome. Very good. Who else? What's your outcome? Yes, sir.
Yeah, to have fun, meet some very interesting people.
Very good. You're going to have a lot of that. I've got cigars and what's in it?
The biggest lessons I've learned is it's not what you know, but who you know, and your network equals your net worth.
Bingo. Love it. Who else? Who else got an outcome? There's another devil dog at Will. I want to know Will's outcome. He had me speak at his event at the Tower Club a couple weeks ago. Another Marine.
I'm good. I'm here to support good people, good business people, and network.
Love it. Of course. Very cool. Who else? Who else has got an outcome? All the way in the back?
Perspective. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
There you go. Appreciate you being here, man. All right. Who else? Anybody else? Who's courageous enough to share their outcome? Go ahead, Jackie. That's right. That's right. All right. Wow, thank you. Wow, that's awesome. Isn't it awesome your realtor wants to get to know more what you do? And by she sold us a phenomenal house. Little did I know that next door, like 6 months later, next door right across from me is PJ Washington, moves into the neighborhood. Like I think I bought in the right neighborhood, right? I'm still getting to know all of them, right? But there's a lot of connections here. And that's what Dallas is becoming. I'm just curious, who is originally organic? You're born, raised, or you went to at least high school, you graduated here, you got some time here in Dallas. Why don't you go and stand up? This is the original organic Dallasonians, all right? In the house, okay? All right. Okay? We got so this is the Dallas side. All right, very cool. All right, grab seats. Now, you're living in Dallas, but you, like myself, moved from Chicago. You relocated. You, migrated to Dallas. Go and stand up. If you're not originally from Dallas, but you're now in Dallas. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Makes the noise. Good job. So let's go to the next slide here. Interesting thing about Dallas. Here's some cool facts about Dallas. By the way, does everybody here have a workbook? You guys got a workbook? Yes? Good. If you don't have a workbook, raise your hand. Okay, in the back? Okay. There are a couple over here. We need a couple workbooks over. Thanks, Bree. By the way, Bree Torp is doing a phenomenal job. She's in green. If you want to do events like this, make sure you connect with her too as well. We need to get them some workbooks over here, so I'll put this down for right now. But what's going on in Dallas? Did you know that Dallas right now, Jackie loves hearing this, #1 city right now for corporate relocations, leading the way. In addition to that, 400 new residents are moving to D-Town every day. Everybody say every day. Okay? 175,000 people moved here last year. And right now, #2 in job growth. And if you put the Dallas metrosexual, see, I caught your attention. Yeah? You don't want like this. You're paying attention. If you put the Dallas Metroplex population, do you realize it has more people just in the Dallas Metroplex than 12 different states entirety? Not combined, but just individual. If you put our DFW Metroplex versus 12 different states, we have more people here than those entire states. So a lot of things is going on in Dallas. Now, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. Anybody else here from Chicago? Chi-Town in the house. There you go. Chi-Town over there too as well. By the way, where's I can't take all the shine for this. Where's all my veterans? Go ahead and say, all rise. Where's my vets at? Veterans, make some noise for these veterans. Yeah, I love it. Let's run the mic right quick. What branch of service? Let's run the mic over here. What branch of service? Who's got the mic? Yeah, sign over there. Yeah.
Air Force.
Air Force? All right. Buddy, say your name and branch of service.
Jonathan Allen, Marine Corps.
That sound.
Will Jenkins, United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Rodney Flowers, Go Navy.
Let's go. Is it Go Navy or Beat Navy?
R3R, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Yes, sir.
David Perret, Marine Corps.
Dan Logan, Air Force.
There you go.
Gil Rote, Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
Robert Hellum, Marine Corps as well.
Leon Caldwell, U.S. Navy.
Got you, bro. I got you.
One more. Oh, here we go.
Curtis Harrison, Marine Corps.
Yeah, it's a lot of Marines there.
Roy V. Marine Corps.
Get sound. Right.
One more.
We don't have any Army guys. There's no Army guys here. No, he already went.
He got me.
Gregory Cody, Air Force.
Air Force, nice. All right. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. Wow, nobody here in the Army. That's the first time. That's the first time we have more. Darian Clark. Darren, stand up. All right, Apache mechanic, Army. All right, good job, Darren. All right. we got one Army dog. All right, so I'm just curious, how many here are in real estate? I know you Jackson's in real estate, you guys real estate. Who here is tech? You guys are tech, technology, e-commerce. Who here is, I don't know, you're in healthcare services. Healthcare, anybody here in healthcare? There we go. Right now, we're very safe because of the presence of our 2 nurses here. If you have a heart attack, go see them, okay? Any other sector we didn't mention? Who else? Okay, financial services, awesome. Financial services, who else? Construction, where else? Transpo? Marketing, there you go, Andrea. Manufacturing, natural, what's up, big dog? Who else? Author, awesome. First responders, there you go. We have a nozzleman up here, firefighter, right? Made 19 grand last month in this business part-time. Awesome, very proud. Yes, what branches are? Training, very good, like education and training for corporate training. Okay, very good. I love it. John C. Maxwell. Who loves some John C. Maxwell? Bye, guys. Recommended reading for the rest of your life. Anything John C. Maxwell. How many guys got the John C. Maxwell Bible? Like the perspective of a leader as you're reading the Bible. Right? That's one of my favorite Bibles to read. Okay, so when you're looking at what's going on here, Dallas is ranked as #1 corporate relocation that leads the nation in business growth and migration, and your presence here just proved that. So you're living proof of what's actually going on in Dallas. Do you think that's slowing down based on what happened last week in New York? Did anybody know what's happened? Did you see what happened in New York? And who's not familiar with what happened in New York last week? Okay, for the most part, if you're attracted to what we do here, Cigars, would you guys consider yourself entrepreneurs or capitalists? You love free enterprise, being in business for yourself and growing a business? Well, guess right now where the current financial capital of the world is? It's New York. Where was it previously? London, right? Before J.P. Morgan took over here. What does J.P. stand for? Junius Pierpont Morgan. Before he sent his son over here, right? He sent his son J.P. over here to run New York. Then New York became the new financial capital of the world. Now, based on what we just saw, so what does that mean? Capitalists. If y'all are capitalists, right? It means you take your capital, your talent, your time, your resources, and you capitalize on it. You multiply it, right? You leverage, you capitalize, you multiply by taking capital. And what happens when you have your profits? You can either spend that, you can spend the profits, or you can reinvest it and grow your enterprise. Okay? So I started in business 26 years ago. I can't believe I'm about to say 27 in the next, 52 days. There's going to be 2026 upon us. But I've been an entrepreneur now for 26 years. Been kneecap to kneecap with some of the brightest minds in business. I don't have a college degree. I have a 2.2 GPA. Matter of fact, I'm very proud of my PhD. Who else has got a PhD here? Anybody, any PhDs here? I have a public high school diploma. So I'm very proud of that, excited about it. led me a lot of different places in the world. And because of entrepreneurship and capitalism, I've traveled the world with my wife. She's in business with me now. And we understood this. 2021, we weren't happy with what's going on in Chicago. Here's the cool part: when you have money, you got options. How many guys want more options in your life? So we decided to pick up and move. And when we moved down here, we said, babe, we're not going to buy yet because we don't know where to live. We don't know where the places to be at yet in Dallas. So let's go rent an apartment, or let's go rent a house. The challenge, though, is we have a nice house in Chicago. It's a 8,000 square foot house in Naperville, Illinois. If you guys didn't know anything about Chicago, I was in Naperville, Illinois. And we had an 8,000 square foot house, golf course in the back, and we come here to, we found one because we couldn't find anything. It was like coming out here with a sight unseen type of a situation. 2021, Jackie, would you agree with me that when you had an offer, when you listed a house, not only did you get an offer, but you got 25 more on top of that? 39 was your max. So you listed a property and 39 offers on top of the original offer was your max. Holy moly. And whereabouts? What area? Prosper. So check that out. Imagine you being the seller. You got one offer. I love it. You see, that's the opportunity 4 years ago. Today, what's the challenge? It's not the same. And that's only 3-4 years later. So when I'm looking at a career, I'm looking at a business, I want something that's a few things. I want something that's in a rich industry. My brothers and sisters in service, did we sign up to take a bullet for our country? So we worked really hard to take a bullet for our country, but was it paying well? We're getting paid 20, 30 grand a year to take a bullet for our country. Okay? And if you had hazardous duty, you get paid another $150 extra a month. Now you got some beer money, right? So I didn't realize that veterans, military guys, learn how to do it not necessarily for the money, but for the pride of it, for the patriotism of it all. So next slide. So when you're looking at the other area that's going on here in Texas, think about the assets that's relocating. You look at New York, you look at Los Angeles, over $1 trillion and now moved out of New York, out of LA. How many guys know the name Ken Griffin? Runs Citadel, right? The richest man in Chicago, where I'm from, right? Due to the crime in Chicago, him and 1,500 employees decided up and leave Chicago, took about $65 billion of assets with him to South Beach, to Miami. And guess what he just did last year? Him and a couple of guys from BlackRock decided to do something here in Texas. I'm going to reveal that in a second. By the way, I've got a special announcement tonight. I got something very, very exciting. You're going to want access to this. If you want to know what's going on in Dallas, you're going to want access to this announcement I'm about to make. I'm not making it right now. She's goating me. Okay? So when you look at what's going on here, money is moving. It's left where it normally had been. You know why? Because rich people, millionaires and billionaires have options. How many guys want more options in your life? Okay? So go to the next screen. When you're looking at what type of options, though? The options we have here in Texas. No capital gain. Did you hear about the new no capital gains law they just passed earlier this year? Do you know what a big of a deal that is? You know, buck wild people are going to be in real estate and investing in real estate. How about buying and selling stock here in Texas? You could buy something in one, let's say at $10, you can sell it at $100, then $90 of capital gain. There's no tax. What? Tax-free retirement. Let's go. Right? There's federal income tax. Of course, you got to pay federal income tax, but unlike where I was in Chicago, in Illinois, you got to pay 5% state tax, city tax in the city of Chicago. By the way, did you guys notice? When was the last time you bought something in Dallas? When was the last time you bought something in Dallas? So they added something on top of sales tax. I don't know if you guys noticed it. I was just in downtown Dallas about a week ago. So I was at State and Liberty because they got these suits that you can flex in. You get the four-way material and fiber. You can do squats in these suits. Okay. I realize you don't want to be in a suit here in Dallas, especially when it gets hot. But I bought something in Dallas. Not only did I pay state income tax, state tax, sales tax. Guess what I also paid? Dallas city tax. And because I'm a resident from Frisco, buying something there in Dallas, guess what I also had to pay, even though I was buying in Dallas? I had to pay Frisco city tax. So I pay city tax of Dallas and city tax in Frisco. What is going on? Well, let me ask you guys this. How many of y'all own property? How many of you guys own real estate, whether your own home or, okay, good. How would you guys like to make sure our state doesn't have any property tax? Would that be awesome there, Jackie? That'd be amazing. But here's a problem. Here's a challenge. How is the state going to get its money to operate? It's got to come from what then? Probably sales tax, most likely, okay? So corporate incentives to come here. You know, when our company moved down here, we had some corporate incentive to move from LA to, or not myself, my corporate office from LA to Dallas, and there's some incentives. So, for example, companies can move here, and for 4 years or 5 years, they get incentives. They have to pay any municipality tax, or they come here with 50 grand. For example, we're relocating our office space. We're moving from Carrollton, and Plano is offering us 40 grand to move to Plano. Isn't it kind of cool? So if I move my company's office from Carrollton, we have 12,000 square feet in Carrollton, we're offered 40 grand by Plano to relocate to go to Plano. The challenge I have here in Frisco, coming to build a company office, here's a challenge. You know who I'm going up against? I'm not going up against me and you. You know what I'm going against? I'm coming against the sports teams. I'm coming against private equity company teams, buying neighborhoods, buying office complexes. I'm so excited right here where she had me move into in a place called Starwood. But right down Starwood, they used to call it the hole by the toll. Right? Legacy and, I'm sorry, not Legacy, Lebanon and the tollway. You know what I'm talking about, right? You call it the hole by the toll. Acres and acres of almost built project. You can see that they started, but they never finished. Well, guess what? It's called the mix now. $4 billion is going there. $4 billion is going there. Class A office space, hotel, roof parties, all sorts of stuff. Whole Foods is going there. It's an anchor tenant. A lot of crazy things are happening. I'm not even talking about going up north. We're prosperous. I'm sure you talk to Jackie. She can tell all the projects and all the things that's going on up here in North Dallas. Business-friendly policy. How many guys are entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. Aren't you glad you're in a state that's very friendly to entrepreneurs? What's Memdami, what's he saying there in New York? Hey, we're going to force you to operate the way we want you, or we're going to take over your property. You know what he said? If this tenant or this landlord doesn't fix their property, we're going to take over the building. Yo, you know what that's called? That's called communism. Right? Just so you guys know, in Chicago, we have big landlords and slumlord in Chicago. She just got blasted on the news by Real Deal. And anyway, she's the worst landlord. They took over her 500 properties because she's a slumlord. It's so bad, people, they're trying to sell it for $5,000 each. Nobody wants to buy it. But by the way, would you like to buy a piece of real estate for $5 grand and take a risk on it? But how come people aren't doing that in Chicago? You know why? Because the capital is moving where? Here. It's coming down here. Over $1 trillion in assets have already moved, and foreign people are moving here. Next slide. So when you're looking at why that's significant, let's talk about stock market. We just talked about real estate. Let's talk about stock market right quick. So when you're talking about the stock market, NASDAQ, right, it was a stock exchange established in 1971. A lot of technology companies are listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange, okay? And then where I'm from, they started another national stock exchange called CBOE, Chicago Board Options Exchange. I used to be how many guys remember your first job? My first job was a bike messenger. Yeah, I was the fax machine. I was email. I had my messenger satchel, got in the back, delivered legal documents, and I was the one they were uploading documents to. And I had to carry it in my messenger bag and drop it off at the law firms downtown. So I knew all up and down the law firms of Jackson and Financial Plaza, downtown by the Chicago Stock Exchange. Where are they? Chicago Board of Exchanges at? Well, that was 1973. Do you know no other national stock exchange is open until this one, next one, until this one, the Texas Stock Exchange. Guess where it just opened up? Here, Dallas. Right in downtown on Main Street right there, you see yes. Yeah, the Texas Stock Exchange is called?
Y'all Street.
Y'all Street. Instead of Wall Street, it's? Right? So if you look, how many guys know where the Ross Perot Museum is downtown with the slidey, okay? So right across from you see the 4 or 5 cranes that are building up these buildings. You see them building up the new JP Morgan Chase headquarters. Next door to it, they went way down, took them a year to go way down, now they're building up the new Bank of America headquarters. Right next to it, the brand new Goldman Sachs, right? And somewhere in there is the Texas Stock Exchange. Location yet to be determined. You know why? You know why it's location to be determined? How many guys remember the stock markets back in the day had runners going from this side of the room to this side of the room? They needed a lot of office space. They needed a lot of floor. Do you know today they don't need a lot of that office space? Why? Because how do you sell stock today? With a runner or hitting a button? So therefore, the requirement for a stock exchange to have a lot of square footage today in this modern world is minimal. Matter of fact, we could probably fill the whole stock exchange right here in this boardroom, and we're trading global companies' stock. So interesting thing about this, go to the next slide. What's going to happen here with a stock exchange moving into D-Town? Capital is coming in here. What about talent? What states do we attract talent from here in Dallas? Do we attract people from Louisiana? We attract people here from, where else? Oklahoma, New York, Chicago, right? Coming all over. And you guys are examples of that. So talent is migrating here. So what does that mean for you if you got a company? You have the opportunity to hire some of the best talent in America. They're coming here. How many guys are single? You want to advertise right now? How many guys are single? Okay, good. For those who are single, those willing to admit it, guess where the talent's coming? Here. Right? Okay. Right? So if you're single, guess what? Your honey might be moving here because of opportunity. Global attention. We won't be just a stock exchange of America. We're going to be a global stock exchange. Now, here's the crazy part. Well, what's Memdami trying to do to millionaires and billionaires in New York? What is he trying to say? I'm going to tax your asses. If you make more than $2 million, here's another 1%, 2%. If you're a billionaire, 3%. Right? Obviously, he's got to go through Hochul there of the governor of New York, but he's trying to do something to stick it to the most productive, risk-taking citizens in that city, the financial capital of the world. And guess what? Remember I shared with you they got options? Guess where they might potentially be picking up and moving to? Jackie, any news on your end of any potential folks moving here from New York or California or Chicago?
Actually, we do. We've got several that are relocating here right now. And so far this year, we've got California, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, actually Seattle. So, I mean, we're constantly moving a lot of relocation people here to Dallas, for sure.
There it is. Right? Lots of movement here. Next slide. So think about this, okay? What does this mean, though? Most capitalized SEC-approved exchange. This got approved last August, a couple months ago, to do business in 2026. Texas Stock Exchange is the most well-capitalized equities exchange to ever be approved by the SEC. Remember, when's the last time a stock exchange of this magnitude got approved? 1973. So now, 2025, you think things have changed in America? You think money has changed in America? Hello. First fully integrated exchange approved in decades. It's the first integrated national securities exchange to receive SEC approval in decades. Some of y'all be building companies and you want to potentially be listed on the stock exchange. Imagine you being publicly traded, your company being publicly traded. Our parent company is looking to be publicly traded. And I got a lot of stock in that company. I got for pennies, because I was with the company 10 years ago. And when we got acquired, My stock turned into their stock. So I'm excited for that. I mean, we can buy some more houses there, Jackie. We can buy some more property. And this past weekend we were with PBD. So hey, Sapala, Vargas, Gaitan, you guys gonna sell your stock? You gonna sell your stock? You gonna sell your stock? You gonna sell your stock? And you know what my immediate answer was? Heck no. I'm holding on as a bad boy. Right? Hey, how many guys have heard the Magic Johnson story? He was offered either stock of Nike or $200,000 in cash. What did he choose? He took the cash. And today that stock would have been billions of dollars. Because this is before Michael Jordan came on the scene. Right? And what has happened in Nike stock since the 80s? So when you buy stock, it's not for the now time, it's for the long term. Okay? Because how many guys have heard of Warren Buffett? Right? The Oracle of what? Oracle of Omaha runs a company called Berkshire Hathaway. What's one stock of his company worth? If you're going to buy one share of his stock, does anybody know how much if you can get a share, it's closed fund already. How much is it per one share? $350,000 for one share? What is it? What is it? It's close. 175,000. That's close for one share. How much right now is Amazon stock? 250. How much is Tesla stock right now? 350. How much is Meta? 450. How much is Berkshire Hathaway? $725,000. And you know he's got an imprint right here. Berkshire Hathaway has an imprint right here in Dallas. You guys know specifically where we're at? Close. How many guys have heard the Colony? How many guys have heard of Grandscape? Why is Nebraska Furniture taking up 18 city blocks? That's the Oracle of Omaha right there. Nebraska Furniture. That's his joint. That's his spot. You know, Jackie sold me a house in Starwood. You know, I'm talking to a couple of guys who are going over our number, go over spreadsheets in the Dallas Cowboys club, and Jerry Jones is walking right toward me. I'm like, oh man, I got to talk to this guy. Jerry, hey, nice to meet you. Listen, I got to ask. Hey, what's that? I heard your first job in college was selling life insurance. I'm in the insurance business. He goes, how'd you know that? Well, just reading about your story. Yeah, I sold life insurance from my daddy's life insurance company. Funny story. Let me tell you some funny story, right? He goes, one day, it's a Saturday afternoon. The game is done. They play on Friday night. Everybody's partying that weekend. Guess what Jerry Jones is doing? Selling life insurance. He goes, a 40-year-old came into my dad's life insurance office. I started writing a quote, and I started writing up his life insurance policy. He bought a policy for himself and his two daughters. His name? Sam Walton. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that crazy? How many guys are in financial services right now? Good. How many guys want to write up a Sam Walton of your career? Okay? You just never know who you're going to be talking to. Right now, Texas Stock Exchange is built to grow public companies, not burden them. You know what's happened to the stock exchange in New York and the regulation up there? A lot of over-regulation. What happens here in Texas, a business-friendly state? Texas Stock Exchange mission to reverse the decades-long decline in the number of U.S. public companies. Are more companies going public today or less? It's actually less. Is that good for America or bad for America? It's bad because we want to lead the nation. We want to lead this country. We want to lead our cities and states. So that's affected by us not having companies having the boldness to go public. Think about for your business right now. Think about what it would take for you to go public. That'd be kind of cool, right? You go public, you raise capital, you have to have qualities of earnings report, you have to have quarterly earnings report, you have to have quarterly projections, monthly projections, and you got to go on monthly conference calls. Isn't that awesome? But you're in the billions, potentially trillions. Is it worth it though? Is that the life you want to sign up for? I don't know. For me, heck yeah. Bring it on. I've learned to like accountability, you know? Yeah, the word accountability starts with that word, that D word, discipline. You hate it, but you love it. You hate it when you're doing, but you sure love the results. Next slide, Darren. So when you're looking at, next slide, Darren. So when you look at the innovation and tech momentum, emerging AI companies, right now, right here in Plano, a bunch of AI companies are moving right here in Plano. How many guys have heard of NVIDIA? One of the companies they own is moving right here in Plano, okay? Cryptocurrency of the world. We're at the cryptocurrency of the world. By the way, what did Trump say? We're going to lead the world in cryptocurrency. I want that to happen. Guys, I'm not here to pat Trump on the back either. I just want to make sure America doesn't lose its footing in the world to be number one. So guess where he's going to be building those mines? Irving, Texas. They already started on it. How many guys have people in your family that drive Uber on the side, DoorDash on the side? You know what's about to take over their opportunity? Robots. So I'm here in Frisco. I order a DoorDash. How many guys like those ACI? How do you say that? ACI bowls? Okay. Yes, that's what happens. You have a jar. You're trying to write acai. What? Acai. Okay. All right. So I'm ordering that bowl. Okay. And next thing I hear above my house. What? That was a drone just dropping off my food. My kids run outside. Oh my gosh! Hey, look at this. Right, Tiffany? It's just dropping. DoorDash right here in Frisco. What's going on between what's the highway between Houston and Dallas? What is that? 45. Right now we have 1,500 routes of self-driving trucks on that route. How many guys want to invest? If there's an investment for you to invest in, it's investing in nuclear. And by the way, this here could be a nuclear reactor. It's not those big nuclear reactors like you might see on TV with a big flume, right? Big chimney stack. The brand new nuclear reactors fit in rooms like, it looks like a house, but it powers a whole state. So if you're going to invest in something, consider investing in nuclear. Guess what cryptocurrency needs? We're investing in something called Bitcoin mining. Guess what Bitcoin mining needs a lot of? Power, energy, draining, and then people are trying to plug in also for their cars. So a lot of things is happening in what city? Not Texas, what city? Dallas. Right here. Next one. So the future will go to those who don't just earn money. What's the difference in earning money and owning money? Because you got to do something to earn money, right? Like myself, when I was in the insurance business, for 12 years I was a solopreneur, selling life insurance, annuities, doing dinner seminars, 5,000 piece mails goes to 5 different zip codes. I did that for 12 years. Sold $500,000, $800,000 a year in life insurance premiums and about $20 million in annuities. Right? Today, we do over $150 million in annuities, $35 million in premium. We haven't even done with the year yet because I built a team. I scaled. In other words, if I stop today, I still have $2 million of income coming my way, and I don't have to do anything. She knows my numbers because she sold me a house. Okay? So I'm not BSing none of y'all. If I decide to do nothing today, we still have $2 million coming our way because we built a national life insurance agency, just not based in one city, not based in one state, but all over the country. I want to build a business when the sun hits the East Coast, goes over the South, goes over Midwest, goes over Arizona and Midwest and mountains and Pacific and then Alaska and then Hawaii. I want to make money. How many guys want a business like that? Yeah, that's owning money, not earning money. So if you want to get the best of what happens here in Dallas, you keep saying Fort Worth. Dallas, Fort Worth, I'm staying corrected, right? If you want to take advantage of what's going on here in Dallas, Fort Worth, you got to make sure you position yourself the right way by not just being a one-man operation. So you got to be thinking about what? My favorite word starts with an S. That's correct. Scale. If you have right notes, write that word down. Scale. How do I scale? Because wealth creation belongs to those who apply, not what they know, but also with who they know. Next slide. When you're looking at 4 types of people, I'm on a national book tour. I talk about 4 different types of people in my Keep the Keys book. Complainers, drainers, containers, and gainers. Let's break that down. Next slide. So, if you're a complainer, and by the way, here's a funny part downside of complainers. Do you guys know a complainer in your life? Yeah? 1 of them? 2 of them? 5 of them? How many guys know complainers? Just in general. Everybody knows a complainer, right? Here's a problem with complainers. They don't know they're the complainer. But it's everybody else's fault that why their life sucks. So these are 3 questions to ask yourself. Am I a complainer? If I am, and by the way, guess what I'm talking about? I was talking about me for a while. That was me. Single dad, bankruptcy, divorced. I got custody of the kids. Why am I paying child support? Right? I screwed my life up. It took my entire 30s to repay the mistakes of my 20s. My veterans, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And I had to deal with this PTSD type stuff, all this nasty stuff. I dealt with it. By the way, my saving grace was not talking about it with a counselor. By the way, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just telling you what happened to me. My saving grace of PTSD was going in business for myself. How many guys want to get closer to God? Good, amen. Start a business. There's your counselor, the mighty counselor. Hallelujah. Guys, what I'm talking about, right? Oh, Lord, how am I going to pay these bills? Jesus. Lord Jesus. How do I pay off this chargeback? How do I issue this refund? What the heaven? Right? Everything. I got close to, by the way, as a new Christian when I was 30 years old, how long was that? 32 years ago. Okay? Brand new Christian. Some people got saved through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Guess how I got saved? Proverbs. What's Proverbs? Written by the who? Richest and wisest king who ever lived. Because he gave me scriptures in there how to manage my finances. Right? Divide your land between 7 to 8 different lands. He's talking about asset allocation. How many guys want a wife of noble and virtuous character? Right, gents? Yeah, my wife. That's my wife. But guess what, gents? If you want a wife of virtuous and noble character, guess what you got to be? You can't be a man in the streets but have a woman's virtuous, noble character. Right? If you want a wife of virtuous and noble character, you got to be a man of virtuous and noble character. You can't be no dog. Bow, wow, wow, you be yo. Right? But all this stuff I started learning in Proverbs. Right? What was like King Solomon? Well, like I'm reading Proverbs. He had how many wives? 600? He had 400 side chicks? They call them concubines? How do you deal with that? Like, how did he manage that? I was telling my wife, hey, babe, you know what? Let's consider the Old Testament, shall we, in our marriage? My wife and our friend just had a child, so we're thinking about her having another kid, but she's older nowadays. I said, babe, well, let's consider a surrogacy, like the Old Testament way. A little bit like how Abraham did it, Yeah. Well, want me to do the same thing? Right? But anyway, we were messing around with each other. But I learned so much about life, about money, about generational wealth and happiness through the Bible. Greatest book ever lived. And those things are happening before us today. And I got away, once I started reading things that fed my soul, I got away from being a complainer. Let's go to the next person. You can be a drainer. Drainer in the real estate world, those are my renters that don't have purpose behind renting. But in this case of business, lots of entrepreneurs are busy being busy. In our business, I tell my guys we get paid for 4 different activities. Focus on these 4 activities every day. Focus on those KPIs every day. Everything else is just noise. But man, I'm just so busy. A lot of time I plate. We'll trade in for a bigger plate. Right? Well, Matt, why are you being so unreasonable with me? I'm sorry, being unreasonable with you. You're the one that said you want to be financially free and financially independent. You're the one that said you want to retire your wife. You're the one that said you want to retire your parents. You want to make sure you got a lot of access and you're worried about working your business 20, 30 hours a week. Unreasonable dreams aren't met with reasonable effort. You got to be unreasonable with yourself when it comes to applying what you learn. Next slide. Okay, I get it now, Matt. Let me be a container. But sometimes, I'm talking to those of you in the room that make between $250,000 and $500,000 a year. That's the most dangerous slide of income in America. You know why? Because you're comfortable. And one thing happens in your life, one change in health happens in your life. By the way, you want to talk about change in life? Where's Tiffany? Is Tiffany here? Yeah, Tiffany, raise your hand. She's an oncology nurse. Do you know what she does every day for her work? Chemotherapy. And when she tells me, listen, the most busy day of her chemotherapy is Thursdays. Because a bunch of containers, people that just have a job, go take their PTO for Friday, because once they take their chemotherapy on Thursday, PTO on Friday, heal over Saturday, Sunday, so they can be ready for work on Monday. I mean, think about this. You're going to cancer. Is you thinking about going back to work the next day on the top of your mind? Or is quality of life and healing from it at the top of your mind? So people don't think about that. So here's the thing, too, as well. Let me talk to the container mindset. It might be your parents, older folks. How many 70, 80-year-olds are still working today? Is retirement a thing anymore? What retirement? What did Trump say today? We're extending the retirement. There's no more 67-year-old retirement age. It's be 77. How many? What did Trump also say? 50-year mortgages. What does he say? 15-year car loans. Wow, that sounds like you're just punting. You're just kicking the can down the road. But by the way, that's what they were saying in 1934 when FHA was created. Because back then, loans were only 2 to 10 years for a house. And then the Great Depression, remember 1930 Depression? And then they created FHA. For those of you who buy a house, you're backed by FHA, 3.5% down payment on a house. From what they did in 1935 to create the 30-year mortgage. They thought it was crazy back then. But here we are. Well, what's going to be crazier, a 30-year mortgage or a 50-year mortgage? How many guys would love to have a 50-year mortgage? But what does that do? What does that do for somebody who has a 50-year mortgage? What does that do initially? It lowers what? Lowers your principal, your mortgage, extends it out instead of 15, 30 years to 50. But guess what? You pay an interest. Probably triple, right? Depending on the interest rate of what you owe on the house. But in the meantime, well, here's another reality check too as well, right? I could be wrong about this. We'll talk about it over cigars. What happens if you get a 50-year mortgage, but you refinance out of it or go to Jackie, buy another house, you're out of the house in 7 years. Did you have to worry about the 50-year mortgage? You're out of it in 7 years. Who knows? So that might be a strategy. But these are areas of you considering how to double your risk capacity. I've had to coach my wife to do this because she's naturally secure. She wants to protect the nest egg. And guess what I want to do? I want to bet it all, baby. So between the two of us, we have this interesting relationship, which leads me to the next one. Because I'm a gainer. How many guys are good at math? I wasn't very good at math. You guys good at math? Praise the Lord, you're good at math. Right? I'm not very good at math. I'm definitely not good with minuses and division. I am good with pluses and multiplication. Right? So ask yourself this too as well. If you're doing well, guess what you ought to be doing? You got to be mentoring somebody. Why are you trying to keep it to yourself? You got to have a protege. How many guys remember movie Star Wars, right? How many guys remember Yoda, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi? I'm talking about OG Star Wars, right? So Luke Skywalker, right, was being mentored by Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan Kenobi got killed by Darth Vader. So who do you need mentorship from? Yoda. Bottom line, Luke Skywalker could only be Luke Skywalker if he had a mentor named Yoda who can close the gap for him. Because let me ask you this question. How much access to information is available today in America, in the world? A little or a lot? How many? If right now, if you told me how to get out of debt, how many videos could you send me? How many videos can you send me how to make $100,000 a year? How many videos can you send me how to make $1 million a year? How many videos can you send me how to raise capital for your business? How many videos can you send me how to pick the right business partners and how to capitalize and go public? A lot of you can send me a lot of videos, right? Okay, here's a question for you. Well, how come America's broker? So it's not access to information that we need, do we? It's communities like this that you need access to. So we can learn with one another, coach with one another. And some of you guys will end up doing business with each other here. You may not be with me, don't care. I want you guys to do business with each other. Some of you guys might burn each other here too. Some of you guys will make a lot of money with each other. Some of you guys will burn a lot with each other, but here's what you learn. You're going to learn that. And that experience, you tack that onto wisdom. If I acted like today in the person I'm becoming, what would I do differently? The current future version of you, the next best version of you, cannot be done with the current version of you. How many guys want to introduce yourself to a richer, debt-free version of yourself? There you go. So guess what you got to change, though? You got to change a few things, the way you think things. For example, I come from a mentality, if you want it done right, do it yourself. You want it done cheaper, do it yourself, right? So my guy, I'm coaching him in business. I said, bro, where you at? Where you been for the last 2 days? Man, I've been trying to change out the starter of my car. Bro, you're a first sergeant in the Army, bro. Right? He was a grunt. What you know about changing a starter in your F-150? Why does everybody in Texas own a Ford F-150? So he took the whole panel off. He showed me a video. He took the whole panel off, and he's going on a YouTube video. Bro, that's a $500 job for somebody at Firestone. What happens if you take 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 days of selling life insurance and the news getting clients? You make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 this week. Take a piece of that and pay a mechanic $500. People wonder why. I'm interviewing next Monday Rabbi Jason Sobel. Okay? Do you know how Jewish people think about money? If they know you can do it better than them, instead of them trying to get your knowledge and try to do it themselves, guess what they'll do? I just hire you to do it. So they focus on what? They focus on the power spot. If you read the way people do business in the Jewish community, here's what happens. Actually, the language is alphanumeric. Money is actually in their language. It's in the conversation. So think about this too as well. If you are an entrepreneur, you make $10,000, $20,000, $100,000, what you ought to be doing that money? Raise your lifestyle? Buy a new Mercedes? Guys, I was 42 years old before I got my first pair of Jordans. I grew up in Chicago. Let me introduce you to a world that may people be annoyed with this. 2 words, delayed gratification. Now, instead of me buying Jordans, now I own the retail store that sells them. Instead of me drinking whiskey, I own a liquor company called Uncle Nearest Whiskey because I would invest with Fawn Weaver to buy it. Now I get access to that. Not just drink a bottle. Because I was thinking like a what? Thinking like a gainer. Short-term sacrifice for long-term happiness. What do you want to do? Here's the problem with our money wiring. As soon as we get money, we spend it. Next thing you know, you're behind with the IRS. You don't want to get behind with those guys. Next slide. So when you're thinking about how to equip yourself, a lot of policies are shifting right now in 2025. You've got to find out what that is for your sector, for your industry. Then you got to figure out this technology integration. For example, this year we started 2 different companies. We did 2 major projects to do with AI. How many guys are right now using some form of AI in your business? Good, amen, hallelujah. So 2 things, our example, we started a music production company. So the music you were hearing the whole time, that's our AI artist named Milian, okay? Why? For the first time in history, not one rap song is in a Billboard Top 100. Because rap music today is shit. Right? What does rap music cause me to do today? Hate my brother and have my sister twerk. Is that basically what rap music is today? And guess what we find? Our youth doing that. Great. That's our investment. That's our future. So we decided to create music that feeds the soul of financial literacy, that feeds the soul with generational wealth thinking, feed the soul with life insurance and investing does, to feed the soul about how to think about purposes greater than yourself. That's why we call the album The Movement. And I don't call it my AI son or my AI alter ego, Milian, who's short for Milianato, is now our AI music artist. So we started that. Guess what? The 3 most downloaded countries, America, Japan, and Korea. They love our music all day. The Keep the Keys book, right? Where's my book publisher? Darren Palmer. We're DP. Darren, can you stand up real quick? Darren Palmer's been my book coach and helped me write not 1, but 2, but 3 best-selling books. Make some noise to Darren Palmer, right? And what I did, I wrote the book, I wrote the concept, I wrote the case studies, and I had all in a document. And what I did, I uploaded it to ChatGPT. I said, arrange it in a way that once you pick up this book, you never want to put it down. And guess what AI did in 30 seconds? Here it is. What? Say, help me with some graphs. What? Help me with worksheet and checklist. What? I saved myself a lot of time and energy. Many of you today have a book. How many guys have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Right? So what was Robert Kiyosaki's first product? It wasn't the book. It was the game. That's right, big dog. It was called Cash Flow. And he says, how come nobody's buying my book, or buying my board game? It's a $400 board game, bro. So he said, well, fine, let me write a brochure why people ought to buy my $400 book. He started writing the brochure. And then chapter 1. And then chapter 2. Chapter 3, instead of it being a brochure, it became Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So his number 1 product wasn't the book, but it was motivated by his board game not being sold. And what is his biggest break? His chiropractor had his book. He put it up in front of his office, and a person from Amway that does network marketing saw the book and said, hey, you got to speak at our conference about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And guess who he met? Les Brown, right? Guess what, Les Brown? He was negotiating with Amway to speak. And they exploded in business around the same time. Next slide. So when you're looking at these next 90 days, November's practically done, halfway done. December, January, February, what 3 moves will you make in the next 90 days? What are your 3 moves? Think about it. What's your next 3 moves? What do I got to do? What's your outlook for 2026? How many guys fired up for 2026? Yes, sir. Really? Awesome. Okay, good. So therefore, what skills, relationships, and strategies do you need in 2026 to actually level up? Instead of going from concept, going from theory to execution. What do I got to do? These are things we got to process. For example, for us, like CRM is a big thing for us. Customer service, having unreasonable hospitality in our business. Our clients feel amazed. Right now in our industry, there's a product called Index Universal Life right now that's getting hit because of what's his name? Kyle Busch, right? So Kyle Busch got an Index Universal Life policy, which has been around since 1996. Multiple insurance companies have it on their books. Great product. My wife and I own about 12 of them. And everybody thinks that Index Universal Life policy is shit. So I'm reading the lawsuit. You know, I found out it wasn't an Index Universal Life policy. It was the who? It's the agent that sold it. He corrupted it for his commissions. And who's got a life insurance license here? Okay. If I have a client, would I sell him another policy 2 years later and take the old policy, 1035 exchange with the same company, and 1035 into the new policy? Would I do it? Heck no, right? So why did he do that? Possibly for what? Because what does he eat? What does a client eat when they do that? They eat the charges. They eat the early withdrawal surrender charges. So why would he do that? So it wasn't that the index universal policy is horrible, is we have a horrible agent. Just because the engine in a Ferrari blows up doesn't mean the Ferrari is bad. So when you're looking at what is your skills, strategies, what's some of your enemies, what will you anticipate in 2026? Next slide. Which leads me to this. I've got excitement because I got part 2 of this conversation. Part 2 of the conversation, we'll talk a little about it tonight over cigars. But I'm excited about February 12th because I got a special guest coming. Here's my special announcement. Renata. I want to make sure you guys have access. Everybody say the word access. Don't just hear it from me. My job here, doing my part to build this community of entrepreneurs in Dallas, where we can foster and do business with one another, learn from one another, grow our families together, grow our communities together, is give you access to people that you may not normally have had access to growing up or had access to in your current network. But my special guest for our February 12th event, we've been talking about it, next slide, is actually somebody from the Texas Stock Exchange, Jeff Karcher. He's in charge of global innovation, global managing director for the Texas Stock Exchange. Actual representative, C-suite executive will be here on our stage directly telling you what's going on with the Texas Stock Exchange in February. How many guys want to have access to this conversation, right? How many guys want to have access? Okay. Okay. By the way, you know how big of a deal this is? You guys, how many guys? Oh, cool. Guys, what I've been telling you this whole time, money is coming to this city. Now, here's the thing. Well, you're going to fall into 2 different camps. Actually, go to the next slide. You're going to fall into 2 different camps. We'll talk about that real quick. If you want to get a ticket to this event for our February 12th, it's a discount tonight. Some of you guys came here tonight. You guys paid the regular price. Some of you guys paid the discounted price. Guess what price you ought to be paying? The Money Smart price, which is the discounted price. Some of you guys waited to the very last minute to get your ticket, and guess what? You paid full price. I want to encourage you, don't pay full price. Get access to this event at a discount tonight if you want access to this conversation and the people that we're going to be attracting, because this is going to attract a lot of people to come to this event, Cigars, Wealth, Whiskey, February 12th. That's a Thursday, 2026. It's probably going to most likely be not at this venue, but at the Verona Villa in Frisco off Stonebrook exit. So that's the QR code to get it. Next slide. Thank you to our sponsors. As I wrap up, because I realize right now I'm 30 seconds between you and a cigar and a whiskey. And you're about to bull rush over me, right? You're going to fall into 2 different camps leaving this conversation. First camp, you're the observer camp. You're watching everybody, you're watching me, watching everybody do their thing. You know what you're supposed to do, but you don't do it. But you say, okay, I'll eventually get this to doing something. I get it, roger that. And most observers are reactors. In other words, instead of taking an initiative, you wait for somebody else to do it, and then you follow along. You're not a leader, you're a follower. And by the way, there's a lot of great followers that make a lot of money. Just want to let you guys know. There's a lot of great guys that come off the bench and do very well in the NBA. There's a lot of specialists that do very well coming off the bench after seeing somebody else do it. But guess who the second camp you might fall into? The second camp is the doers, the positioners. They position themselves, they see an opportunity. How many guys know that when you're building wealth, it's all about anticipation? In other words, I need to find a trend, get in front of it, and do something about it, build a business, and not just put a little fishing rod in front of it. How many guys want to see an opportunity come here, for example, in the financial services sector, which I believe is going to be the greatest sector here in Dallas, the insurance, financial services sector. That's why I'm so fired up about building a national life insurance agency, which is not for everybody. It takes a special person to build a national life insurance agency because you got to deal with human beings. You know, for example, real estate, you deal with brick and mortar. Insurance, you got to deal with real people. Okay, but for me, I like real people because real people give me an exponential return, right? But if I'm thinking about what sector I'm going to be doing business with, what relationships I got to establish, I'm going to set myself what? Positioned. Tonight, you got to position yourself and people you can shake hands with. Find out what they're doing, how they're doing it, how they're making their money. Tonight, when you guys get to know each other, ask each other that question. So what are you doing? How are you doing it? Here's another question I was asking my guys. For example, tonight, I want you to ask this question to me. What's your impression of me and how I make my money? Okay? And how can I potentially help you? Ask that of one another. What's your impression of how I make my money, knowing what you know about people in my field, in my industry, and how potentially can I help you? It's probably one of the most productive questions you can ask me and just cut through the rah-rah. cut to the facade. How do you make money? How can we make money together? And do it in a very expeditious way. Because guess what? You know, you blink, 2026 is here. You blink. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. It's 2026. And here's the crazy part. If you procrastinate, how many guys, who's in their 30s here? Right? Okay. How many guys still remember what it was like to be in high school? And you want like this, bam, I'm 30. Shit, I'm old. Right? Where's my 40-year-olds at? Right? There you go. There's my studs at. There you go. Right? How many of you guys still remember what it's like to be in high school? Right? Where's my greatest generation in history of human? Where's my Gen X's at? Right? We're the greatest generation in history of humankind, most sexy generation created by God. Right? How many of you guys still remember what it's like to be in high school? Right? My point is this. Life is going to pass us up so fast. How many of you guys realize that as an entrepreneur, life has never passed you by so fast until you started your own business? You blink, it's next week. What? When I had a job, oh man, clocking in, man, when's our first break, bro? Oh my gosh, lunch is so far away. Oh my God. Right? You start your own business. You pick up, shit, it's 3 o'clock. I haven't ate today yet. How many of you guys have felt that? I haven't gone to the bathroom yet. It's a different reality. But it's so fun. Guys, we're living in one of the greatest financial times of our generation right now, in one of the greatest cities that's evolving right before our very eyes. And listen, next slide. Dallas might be the new frontier, but guess who the real new frontier is? It's you. What's that next best version of you going to appear like? What systems, strategies, capacity you got to expand in 2026? And we're going to talk about part 2 of that, specifics. When Jeff Karcher is here, he's going to talk about how the stock market is going to affect our city. What do you think? What do you think happened to New York when the stock market, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, all this stuff, Dow Jones is located in New York? What happened to all those companies? What happened to surrounding states? By the way, here's a fast one. Guess how rapidly the cost of living will increase here in Dallas? You thought you can come in a jacket to buy a $3, $4, $5 million house? Wait 2 years. By the way, good for those of you that buy. Right, Jack? I'm excited to buy today. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you guys to buy today. Even though you think it's unaffordable, watch, 3, 4, 5 years later, thank God I bought. How many guys ever run to somebody, yeah, man, I got this house. And you're like, well, when did you buy it? Oh, I bought it 30 years ago at this price. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have bought it then. But guess what they were thinking about buying that house 30 years ago? They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is expensive. So 2 things you got to get straight. If you're going to position yourself, you got to get your cash straight, your cash flow straight. You got to get your credit straight. And there's so many people here in real estate tonight that you're going to have access to exchange ideas. And I hope after tonight you still stay in contact. When's the next day to Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey? February 12th. Who's going to be here? Yes, Jeff Karcher, right? Jeff Karcher of the Texas Stock Exchange will be here. That being said, guys, I'm so excited to be here with you, do business with you, enjoy our evening tonight together. I hope to see you guys before the new year, but if I don't, I hope to see you guys in February 2026. That being said, God bless you. And you're good to go? We're good to go. All right.